what matters most to you in West Michigan. Join the conversation now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on Wood Radio.
Good morning, everybody. What a beautiful start to the day. The sun is shining. The gorgeous skyline. Downtown Grand Rapids, high atop West Michigan. We are broadcasting live. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley. Lots to cover today. We have, quite a few stories concerning the election. Just 6 days now. We continue our 21 days of prayer. We'll talk about that coming up. Latest polls in Dixon Whitmer. In that case, we'll run that up for you as well. Is another wild update from the Pelosi Hammer Time extravaganza out in San Francisco, or Sicko. It's San Francisco. Sicko.
We're talking about what matters most in West Michigan and beyond. This is the Big Three. Now today's Big Three.
The stories that matter most. You'll be talking about these around the water cooler at the dinner table, no matter where you are. These are those stories powered by our good friends at Heartland Home Mortgage. I've been warning you about how you can save some money for a while now. Give these folks a call, especially with your home right now. You could use some equity to with the cost of everyday things. Put a little bit more money back in your pocket. We'll tell you how to do that. They've got custom solutions for everyone, including home equity line of credit, things like that. Maybe help you get rid of some credit card debt. Dave Galloway and the team standing by, anxiously awaiting your phone call. 616-974-9105.
Number one.
Another day, another wild update from the Pelosi Hammer Time case in San Francisco. Live security video feed at the home of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi caught the suspect apparently in the act. Now, we don't have this video. No one from the U.S. Capitol Police was watching, according to the reports. They do have tape, but they have not released it. In fact, they haven't released the report at all. Too sensitive. The material too sensitive, they say. A source revealing to the folks at Just the News the officer was in charge of monitoring the feed, didn't notice the break-in occurring until the flashing strobe lights from responding San Francisco police squads were visible on the screen. Capitol Police Chief Tom Menger said, department currently conducting that formal review, but you can't see any of it. No, it's too sensitive. Way too sensitive, folks. Dixon is pulling closer in Michigan, according to the latest poll. Now, I've seen polls all over. I just saw a poll yesterday that showed her in the lead. They tried to put a poll out the other day that showed Dixon behind 9 points. And I've got a lot of conversations that people have started, emails asking about polls. Folks, you are going to see polls, even from now on out, that will be wildly, like all over the road. I just noticed in my memories today, a year ago today, they showed, and finally the dam broke there. Drudge Report reported Youngkin in Virginia had some sort of massive lead, it looked like, over Terry McAuliffe. And they thought, wow, is this going to be a runaway situation? And of course, we know the results there. So be careful with the polls. You know, we hear about the red wave, the red tsunami. Get out and vote is my advice. And bring people with you. Just 1 week to go, a little less now. So poll rankings against Democratic incumbent Governor Gretchen Whitmer have tilted significantly in Dixon's favor. Now, second, she garnered the endorsement of Michigan Chamber of Commerce, they said yesterday. The most recent opinion-savvy Insider Advantage poll places Whitmer ahead by only 0.2%. And, folks, that's when they talk to Democrats. So just remember that. Good news all around. We'll get into all of it coming up. Some unfortunate news. Crime again, another issue. Hot with folks. Now, paying attention to all of this. A 17-year-old shot and killed riding a bicycle along Indian Mounds Drive in Wyoming yesterday. Wyoming Department of Public Safety Captain Timothy Poles said emergency responders called there shortly before 3 p.m. on a report of that shooting, found the teen with a gunshot where they tried to save him, but he died at the scene. Police now looking for a light-colored, older model sedan. Witnesses saw leaving right after the shooting. Headed east on Indian Mounds with the investigation still in its very early stages. They say anybody has information, please contact Wyoming Police or Silent Observer. Crime continues to be another major issue in this particular election. Folks seeing it on the rise here in Michigan, West Michigan, and across the country. Well, lots to discuss today. And in fact, guests I know you're going to want to hear from. And in fact, I'm going to test the line here real quick while we're going to fly without a net, because I think this is a good story that we should just get right into. But I'm not sure how the setup is going to work right now. If our next guest, for some reason, the computer or the audio doesn't set up, we'll call her. We'll take a quick break and call her. But I wanted to just check in with Stephanie, who's on the phone or on the line with us now on the video. Stephanie, good morning. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can, but it sounds like it's going to cut out a little bit. Can you say good morning, everybody? How are you doing?
How are you?
Okay, we're gonna hang on. We're gonna call you on the phone. As I suspected, we have issues from time to time, and the tech here on the program that we use to do the video behind the scenes live stream. You can still stream live behind the scenes, folks, over at Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, and Getter, all those usual places. In the meantime, jump on the phone because we're going to get Stephanie live in just moments. Something is happening. A story you want to hear about, one of these school board races. In fact, one of the folks that is running for school board here in West Michigan is now playing the victim, when the real victim would be the girls who are forced to have biological males in locker rooms with them. But he says, no, I'm the victim. I'm the real victim here in LGBTQ. Apparently, that's why he says the victim. Member who is running for school board here in West Michigan. And they've done a bit. Fox 17's done this whole report on this. And I looked at it yesterday and I thought, well, that's interesting. Where is the side from the folks who did this mailer that they're all concerned with? Well, we'll talk about the mailer, what's in it, what you need to know. And of course, the latest in all of this insanity, the crazy train is loaded up and ready to roll this morning. Hang on, folks.
Democrats predicted an end to high inflation, but nothing has changed. In fact, food and housing.
Okay, pardon my cold, folks. I got a little cold going on. I will explain more about that tomorrow, probably. But Stephanie, I'm going to call you on the phone because the computer is going to be wonky for us. You're on your phone right now, aren't you? Yeah. That's I think that's probably what's causing it. And not your fault, though. Hang on one second. We will call you on the phone. Stand by. Stand by. All right. Hang on, folks. I thought there was a chance that thing could work, and I wanted to get right into it. If I can, I get right into content so you can hear, and we don't keep you waiting and have to sit you through a commercial break. But that's okay because it gives us time to get everything arranged here. All right, Stephanie, I'm going to disconnect your line here, and we'll be calling you on the phone. I'll say good morning to folks in the chat this morning. Laura, Matt, Steve, Jessica, Tim, Michelle, good to see you. Elizabeth. No after show yesterday, folks. There won't be one today either. And again, this is not a bad thing. There's really good news. I just can't. I don't know. Cold, allergies. There's more to the story that I can't tell you right now, but I will tell you tomorrow. And I'm good. I'm totally. Don't worry about me. I take all the good stuff. I got a very good immune system, so nothing to worry about. And I did clean. I did a lot of cleaning this weekend to get ready for baby, and I think I have a little bit of a dust allergy. I think it may have kicked up some dust allergy. Let's say hey to the Rumblers. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Tom, Social Distortion. Jackie Ray, Mary Kay, Andrew Stuff. Good to see you, my friend. Mr. Deplorable, CMC, C. McCracken. Over on the Getter. Additive, Nana K, Josh Renz, many others. All right, stand by, folks. We're going to show you what you need to see behind the scenes. Welcome in, folks. It is another great day. And of course, you can join the conversation anytime. 616-774-2421. Just 6 days now. 6 days to election. Not only a nationally big midterm election, but throughout the state of Michigan, various different races that are very, very tight and also important. Now more than ever, I think people paying attention to some of these local races, school boards specifically. Joining us right now is Stephanie Boone with Forest Hills for Just Education. Appreciate you being here with us, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm great, Justin. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I want to get down to this, get down to business. I saw the article Fox 17 did about, and literally here's how they do the article. There is a particular candidate. I won't even say his name. Well, I'll say the last name Sheldon. He
Correct.
felt victimized by a mailer that went out that apparently told the truth about his stance on certain things. He felt
Correct.
victimized by that. He said he was victimized because the mailer apparently because he's gay. That was literally his point. He did a live broadcast about this whole thing, and of course on his Facebook page. Now that then led Fox 17 to get all tingly, and they said, we got to go out and do a report on this. Oh my goodness. So they basically go out, they interview him, they stick a microphone in his face, and he just says, I'm a victim here. They're upset because I'm gay. No. It appears, and I could be wrong here, but it could be that it appears that parents don't want biological males with the junk, with the apparatus, so to speak, in the same locker room or bathroom with their daughters. Listen, I'm a father, 2 daughters. I can't imagine the insanity that would say this is okay. I don't care who you are. We have gone completely off the rails on the crazy train on this. Sheldon's upset. Fox 17 does a big interview with him about it all. And of course, you are I guess you're quoted, a statement from you is quoted, but they never really get you on camera and ask you about these things, did they?
They did not. No.
Okay, so
No, they
break this
they
down for
reached
us.
out and we got back to them. I had texted the phone number that I had received and said, hey, what about our side of things? And at least we were able to give a statement that was included in the 10 o'clock news last night. But, cut to the chase here. This has absolutely nothing to do with gay or straight or anywhere in between. It does not say that on the mailer. The mailer asks a simple question. Are you okay with biological males being allowed in the same school locker room as your daughter? It doesn't say anything about Justin being gay. It doesn't say anything about the LGBTQ community. What this is this is a nationwide attack on our kids and the nuclear family. This is a mainstream progressive belief that we need to bring in gender affirming restrooms and signage and books into our schools, our workplaces, our communities. And, as a father of 2 girls there, I'm sure that you're thinking about this and worrying. Congrats to you, by the way, on your new baby girl. And I'm sure that this is something that's at the forefront of a lot of parents' minds right now. And we know that at least 80% of parents out there are concerned with this safety concern in the schools today. I ran for Kent County Commissioner, and I tried to step up into our community to make a stand for, our children and for the future of America. That didn't work out, but in the meantime, I have applied for a position on the Kent District Library Board, and I'm very excited about that because I'm hopeful that I'll get an interview and that will pan out into a spot on the Kent District Library Board so that we can have a voice of reason, because right now we have just this push to bring in this mainstream progressive gender affirming belief by people that are so hyper focused on just their demographic that they refuse to open their eyes and see that there are so many people out there, and we just want all of our children to be safe in school, all children, instead of focusing on just the transgender. The data that the news is sharing is skewed. It's incorrect. They're telling us, that 3% of students are transgender and suicidal, and that is just false. 0.3% of adults in the U.S. are transgender. So how does that translate to 3% of students in our schools? It just doesn't.
Stephanie, I got to ask you, she's with Forest Hills for Just Education, FHJE. And the mailer went out. You can see it on behind the scenes live stream. It's a boy, a male, biological male inside the bathroom. He's got a phone up and he's taking a picture, a selfie, it looks like. And there appears to be a girl behind at the lockers there changing. The question, the word across the top is, are you okay with biological males being allowed in the same school locker room as your daughter? Then down at the bottom, it says Forest Hills Public Schools school board candidate Justin Sheldon is. In fact, he advocates for it. What has he said about this?
He won't answer that question. And he could clear this up very quickly if he would just answer the question.
I think this is a misstep by him. Always playing the perpetual victim. Folks on the left like to do this, but I think, unfortunately, what he's going to do here is he could have come across very moderate, very in the middle, not a hey everybody, I'm just a guy who just wants to help the kids, etc. But in fact, this man who has no children wants to be. I'm not saying you have to have kids to be a school board member, but at the same time, apparently he knows what's best for your kids. I don't think that a lot of folks, especially as this becomes a hot button issue this year, I don't think that parents are going to really be happy about this. Now, I think, again, this is going to backfire on this Sheldon, because now more people are going to know about this. He set a trap for himself here. It just makes no sense. Folks on the left would rather be a victim than a victor always. This is the mindset. Yeah.
Yep. And they want to claim that they're nonpartisan, and this is all about our feelings.
Oh no, he's definitely getting money from the Democrats, is he not?
Absolutely.
And now, why are Democrats backing certain school board members or certain school board candidates in this race and races all across the state?
Well, because they found a certain demographic that will push and help them push their mainstream progressive beliefs in our schools, in our workplaces, in our libraries, signage, you name it, it's everywhere. And if they can keep playing the victim card and keep calling, names to those who call out the truth here and in common sense, then they can continue pushing their narrative. Like I say, running for this position or having applied for this position on the Kent District Library Board of Directors, it's been very eye-opening for me to see that the left does not want me on that board. They do not want me on that board. I wonder why. We can't possibly have a voice of reason in our schools and in our libraries anymore, can we? Got to be pushing this agenda and at least, at the very least, answer the question that's on the table. And you'll see on social media, you'll see where everyone comes to Justin's rescue.
Well, that's not everyone. It's a small percentage of people. My question is, if anybody has asked this question, are you okay with biological males being in the same school locker room or the school bathroom as your daughter? I'm assuming that's going to be a no. That's going to be a hard pass for a lot of people. Particularly what we saw occur in Virginia, a horrific crime where a girl was sexually assaulted by a biological male.
Yeah.
And
the
listen,
left wants to dismiss that as well and make excuses and say that that's an actual predator and the chances of that happening are so slim.
Well, they happened. It happened.
Yeah.
Listen, somebody hit the lottery, lightning struck. The chances of it happening, it happened. It's happened before.
That's right.
It could and probably will happen again.
Forest Hills speak at board meetings about their own children in Forest Hills bathrooms. That a girl looked over and a biological boy, was in the restroom. They spoke at a board meeting about it, and Forest Hills did nothing about it. Nothing.
We're talking about
a safety concern.
We're talking about a very serious subject, and one that parents all over are going to be engaged in. With the fight here, folks, I listen, this is just Forest Hills, but pay close attention to the races for school board in your area. I know that you're plugged in with a lot of those. Where can folks find out more and maybe get in touch with the school board candidates?
So they can go to fh4je.org. They can look up Forest Hills for Just Education. We're on Facebook. We're on pretty much all of the social media platforms. And like you say, this is not just happening in Forest Hills. This is throughout Kent County. This is statewide. This is nationwide. So parents better start waking up and vote accordingly.
And these are some of the most important races, these local races. Of course, what's on the ballot with these proposals, these evil proposals, that matters.
Absolutely.
Of course, the top three in the state wide races, those matter. Your congressman,
Absolutely.
they
and
matter.
While I'm not Cribbs, Lee, Donovan, and DeBoer, I do know them, and I do know that, they will stand for the concerns that parents have, and they will bring those to the table, and they will stand for safety for all students instead of special interest groups. That I can say.
Stephanie Boone, thanks for taking the time. I want to make sure your side of the argument here, your voice was heard.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
The side of the sensible, reasonable folks, parents who say, yeah, I don't know. This something just seems a little off to me. Folks, we continue it. Thank you, Stephanie. God bless for you and all your work. We really appreciate you. Coming up, how can you fight back? More details coming up, a rally you're going to want to be a part of coming up after this. All right, folks, we are making our way through. Let me check in with Ron real quick here. Ron, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I am fantastic. How about you, Justin?
You look good. You sound good, as always. Appreciate you taking the time to do this. Folks, you're going to want to mark Friday on your calendar for a good reason. We'll give you the full details about what's going on, but you're going to want to pay attention to this. Major things are happening throughout the state, and I can you feel there's a shift? There's a little bit of an excitement and momentum right now, Ron.
There is indeed lots of momentum, and the issue with momentum is how do you keep it? How do you keep energized, and how do we get those people who aren't really necessarily planning on voting to get out on Tuesday next week, and also get them informed about these proposals and defeating them. What you were just talking about with Stephanie is so vital, and Proposal 3 is going to just allow much more of that as far as legally letting the schools control what happens with our kids. That's, again, what this convoy is going to be all about.
Now, I know you've been paying attention, particularly to the parents' rights issue, and she was just talking about that. This goes into a whole, folks. You don't even understand the agenda, the entire realm of this. If you put these pieces of the puzzle together, and you say, okay, biological males in the school locker rooms or bathrooms with your daughter, that's okay. Then you start to say Proposal 3. Not only would it say, parents, you don't get to make the decision there, but parents, we're going to send those children to go have an abortion, or they can have what they call reaffirming care. They can have, I would call it, more genital mutilation surgeries and procedures. They could be given hormones. They can be sterilized. All of these things without you knowing. These are major issues that are on the ballot, and I don't know, because there's just so much going on right now. Ron, I don't know if they get the full attention that they deserve.
Well, if they did understand it, we wouldn't have to worry about this. It would probably be 85% that would vote against it. The problem is that they have spent $15 or $20 million telling you this just restores what Roe versus Wade did, and it is so far beyond that. Again, they've left it vague. All you have to know is it was written by Planned Parenthood and the ACLU. This is a template they hope to carry through the country and basically legally begin to control our children from adolescence on. They're already doing it in regard to masks and vaccinations as they start school. The CDC is recommending this. We know what Whitmer has said, but I can promise you she's not going to do it. The health departments are going to do it. The large public schools are going to do it, and then others will follow suit. It is vital that we get, again, the information out. And really, if we win next Tuesday, we look a lot more like Florida than we do California. But if we do not, and these proposals fail, they may use Michigan as the example in 2024. Do you want to be more like Florida or like Michigan? Because we will be one of the most liberal, pro-abortion, fair, free elections states in nation. If we don't prevail next Tuesday, I believe we're going to. But it is really is a matter of us getting out to the people who don't yet know it. And again, that's the reason for the convoy. It's not about the rally at the end. It's about the journey along the way.
Ron Armstrong's with us right now. We're going to give you the details. He just mentioned the convoy, how you can be a part of this, what you can do coming up in just moments. Hey, Ron, we're also in the middle of our 21 days of prayer. Would you mind praying with us today? I don't want to drop that on you, but when we get on the air at some point, all right, we'll do that coming up, folks. We're just 6 days away. Somebody asked me about yesterday. Hey, I think we missed the after show. Well, I will fill you in on what's going on, but there were extenuating circumstances, and I'll talk more about that tomorrow. But I'll tell you don't need us to pray as we continue. In fact, there is I think somebody sent this to me. There's a big day of fasting and prayer happening today all throughout Michigan. If you are interested in taking part in that, it's happening today to defeat Proposal 3. And I don't know who put this on, but it's worth a look. And of course, we're in the middle. We know what these battles are going to be like. These are spiritual fights. We know the power of prayer. And of course, folks on the left will dismiss that quite a bit, but we know the power of prayer. We understand how it can move mountains. I've seen it in my own life, and I've seen it in the lives of others. One other thing, before we get back on the air here, Ron, I want to show you this because I know you're familiar with this, but this is what popped up in my memories from a year ago today. Republican landslide. This is Virginia. They were just floored. What might be there in Virginia as it got down to the wire. How about that? We'd like to see that here in Michigan.
We would. And, we were there. We were a part of that. The Stand Up Virginia group was very much a part that got him to focus on parental rights and issues, school board meetings, and so on. It's what we believe we're focused on. It's what will win our election. It separates truth from fiction, and regardless of what's going on and what excuses that they use in regards to inflation and so on. When you start messing with our kids, they're messing with all of us. And I think that was a great example, and we want to repeat that next Tuesday.
Got to jump back on the air here. Hang on 1 second, Ron. Thank you, folks.
Call Justin now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio 1300 and 106.9 FM.
You can sound off on the iHeartRadio app as well anytime. Just immediately hit the microphone button there next to the play button. Rant, rave, ask a question, whatever you'd like to do. It's called the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app, thanks to our good friends at MKD Funeral Homes. Welcome in to talk about something big I think you're going to want to be a part of. We could see it. You could sort of feel it. There's a shift. There's a momentum occurring right now in this state. Ron Armstrong joins us right now to talk about a big event that he's got planned with some grassroots folks to help support these campaigns. Tudor Dixon, Matt DePerno, Christina Caramo, who we had on yesterday. I appreciate you being here with us today. Ron, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Justin, and how are you?
Wonderful. Wonderful to do. And by the way, if folks don't know, Friday, put it on your calendar, mark it down. It's called, the Freedom Convoy? Give me the full...
4 days to freedom. It is 4 days to freedom, November 4th on Friday. How you can get connected with this, and then I'll explain what it is you just need to text freedom to 231-259-9494. Again, 231-259-9494. And we'll keep you up to date, not only now, but on Friday throughout the convoy. The reason for the convoy, first of all, the destination will be a huge rally over in Macomb, Clinton Township. That will include Tudor Dixon, Christina Caramo, and Matt DePerno, all confirmed. It's going to be the biggest rally that they've had. It's an outdoor event. It's going to be 70 degrees. on Friday. It's a great time to do it. But the purpose of the convoy is to keep the momentum and put the left on notice that we are coming on Tuesday. But this is not just about the destination, it's about the journey. I say that because the journey over the last 2 years is many of you have found your way to various grassroots organizations, have risen up and be involved in everything from your school board meetings to running for office to becoming precinct delegates to get involved with local grassroots organizations. And we want to celebrate that. We want to use this convoy as saying, this is the movement that is happening in Michigan, and we're going to put our stamp on it next Tuesday, but we are just getting started. We're not going back into our slumber. And this also gives us the ability as we cross the state for you to display your signs of your candidacy, your candidate. I know Ottawa Impact's going to be involved. Newego Grassroots is going to be involved. It's going to happen from all over Michigan. And we're going to join up with one big locking convoy to also talk about voting no, no, no on these proposals. Ryan Kelly is going to be involved, and we're going to have signs that are on there that say no, 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 so that we can get more of the information out to everyone we pass on the way crossing the state.
This is just another way to kind of ramp up the excitement across the state. Ron, look, we know, we see the polls very tight, depending on who you listen to and whether you believe polls or not. But we know that this is a tight race in a lot of ways, but we also know that things are very bad. In other words, you look at the economy, you look at crime, you look at these parents' rights issues. Folks are having to make tough decisions every single day when it comes to their kids. And of course, whether or not they put gas in their car, groceries on the table. We know what the plans are for Democrats and the ones who are in control of the state, because here's the real issue. We've seen what they've done the last 4 years. We've seen what they've done in this state. We've seen the chaos that we're in right now. And I believe most people, when they're confronted with all the reality, if they will confront reality, are ready for a change. They say enough is enough. It is time to kick these people out. Let's restore sanity. Let's get a return to common sense. And that's why they will elect Tudor Dixon, Christina Caramo, and of course, Matt DePerno in the state wide races. But all these congressional races across the state as well, all of the school board races, we've got local races. But this is a way to cause folks to pay attention and to look at what is happening, because there may be people. I know it's hard to believe, folks. You and I pay attention. Ron pays attention. We're kind of political geeks. We're a little bit of nerds. We pay close attention to this stuff. But most people right now, they just got done with Halloween. Football's in full swing. They get the kids running here and there. And I get it. Most people aren't thinking about this stuff. They are thinking about, oh my gosh, what did I have to pay for the groceries? I mean, I barely got what I used to be able to get. And, can you believe how much it costs to put gas in a car to get from here to there? They are thinking about those things. Can you believe a 17-year-old was shot in broad daylight yesterday in Wyoming? Again, these are the things that are happening all around us. They're paying attention to these sort of things. They need to know there are alternatives. And this is a way that we can reach people without using the mainstream, having to go through the mainstream corporate media or any of those things. Ron, it's about energizing folks, isn't it?
It is about energizing folks. And if you're not energized now, you will be on Friday. We want visuals. We have to create our own press. Understand, no matter what crowds we do, what rallies we happen, we're never covered. Even from the debates, our side is never covered in the news. So we have to create our own news. And how that happens is you remember the convoys that traveled America, traveled Canada. We want one in Michigan that's going to create a buzz that's going to be all about patriotism, American flags, signs for your local candidates. Understand that we are celebrating all of the things and the people that have woken up. And what we're doing, obviously, is crossing the state to get people informed, make sure they turn out and vote. If we turn out and vote, we win. That's all you need to know. And that means that the more people who see this and say, oh yeah, next Tuesday's the election, and I need to vote no, no, no on these proposals, those things are vital to the freedoms and liberties and your own parental rights. And honestly, again, it's now or never. And I think taking off a Friday afternoon or a few hours on a Friday and joining, you're going to feel incredible about it. I see Dennis Morton's on here actually making comments on one of your Facebook pages here. He's going to be providing his big truck that says Freedom 22 and kind of help lead us. We're going to have a bus in the front. We're going to have a traveling billboard for No on 3. And we want you to join. And if you do text Freedom to 231 259 9494, you will get up to date information. We'll also put that tomorrow on choosefreedomusa.com. You can get that link also off standupmichigan.com. And that'll be the staging locations. If you know where Highway 96 is, then you can get there. We're going to provide many locations along the way from west to east, from Spring Lake all the way across, of where you can meet up. And then we'll provide you times that you need to be there to join the convoy. Bring your signs, your American flags, and your patriotism.
Ron, we have been engaging in the 21 days of prayer here for the last several days. We are now 6 days away from the election. Anytime we get a chance to talk with somebody who's come on, I ask them to pray, or we pray even during the after show. And many folks have actually joined us across the state and across the country to pray that the right folks would get elected, that God would raise the right folks up, and that we would defeat some of these ballot proposals up and down the ticket. We've got to make sure that we see engagement and activity, but we're also fighting the fight, these battles on our knees. I just wonder if you might help and say a prayer today during our 21 days of prayer.
I will indeed. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for all that you've done for us. I thank you that no matter how dark the day looks, we know that it's darkest before the sunrise. We know that next Tuesday we have an opportunity in America to restore, again, the foundation of our country, which is based on your principles, the biblical principles. And it is so important that we turn out and do our duty in order to preserve those rights and liberties, including the religious rights and all of the things that have been happening. We know we're under an assault. We know we're under a spiritual war as well as a psychological war. And obviously, Lord, we know that you have the answers. We know the scales have been lifted from so many people's eyes over these last couple of years as to what the ultimate goal that is for us. It is evil. And we just pray that you would be with us, that you would rise up each and every individual to have the confidence to talk to their neighbors, their friends, and their family, and let them know how important it is that we get out and protect the lives of both the unborn and also the lives of our children, and that we have the ability, as it is our responsibility, to raise our children to be able to make decisions for them based on not only our understanding, but on yours. And we want to not be able to have anything that legally can be done with our children that would harm them. It, again, is our responsibility. And I believe, and I have faith, and I believe everyone coming together under one mind and one group of prayer today, that we lift this up, that we will have major victory next week on Tuesday, and we will free our state and beginning to free the nation and return again our country to its founding principles, which the foundation is you. And that is the only country in the world that we can say that. In your name, Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, my friend. Ron Armstrong. Stand up, Michigan. That convoy, it's called 4 Days to Freedom. November 4th, you can text Freedom to 231 259 9494. More info. Ron, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you on the fight.
Thank you. Join and vote next Tuesday.
Amen. God bless. All right, folks. There you go. Don't play that talk. You're going to get kicked off Facebook. Yeah, I don't know if it was a prayer, the election talk, or what. No, I just cut the audio from it. Again. like she said. I just wanted to let it breathe. Wanted to play a little bit more. You guys can still hear me, can't you? You can still hear me and see me. Another fabulous conversation. Really appreciate Ron for everything he does, and of course for coming on to discuss some of these big things that are happening right now. All right. No after show today. I have a stack of stuff though. I really do, and I apologize. I may try to do an after show tomorrow. I just got so much going on that I can't share with you just yet, but I will tomorrow. And great things, folks. Great things. Great things. Hang on one second here. Let me just find this one piece that I want to show you. Okay. Maybe we can do a very short after show. What do you think? You think like a 5-minute kind of after show sort of thing? You think that would be okay? Actually, I have a little bit of time left here at the end of the show, so maybe I can get through some of the things I want to talk about here. Stand by. Ted Cruz is in town. He is stumping on his bus tour for John Gibbs tonight. Noto's, Old World Italian Dining, 28th Street. Michigan Take Back America bus tour. Ted Cruz, John Gibbs. I'll be there tonight. Starts at 6 p.m. with Senator Ted Cruz. Mark that on your calendar. Another important piece of information. Some stories you won't hear anywhere else today. No after show, but I've got a little bit of time to cover some things I want to make sure get covered, so I'll do that coming up. But man, have you thought about your health these days? It's so important. Maybe you've been thinking about these issues and you're in the fight. We need you. We need you at your best every single day, whether you're a husband, father, or you're showing up at your work and you're calling, no matter where you are, we need you at your best. Maybe you felt a little bit of low energy, motivation, weight gain, muscle loss, some anxiety and depression. Now, yeah, you could be paying attention too much to the news, but it could also be low testosterone levels. Well, Mentality has a solution just for you. There are local healthcare facilities specifically dedicated to helping men feel and perform at their very best. You know, you'll just never know unless you get tested. And I can't emphasize this enough. We need you in the fight. They've got FDA-approved testosterone treatments, board-certified physicians who work with most insurance at Mentality. Check Mentality out today at lowtusa.com. Go to low, the letter T, USA.com. Go to lowtusa.com and find out how you can take your life back today. Okay, couple of big stories that I wanted to get through. Double whammy ahead. Lawmaker warns of impact from diesel shortage, rail strike after the election. Wait a minute. Rail strike. Yeah, remember some of these folks put this stuff off until after the election. Do you remember the story about there was going to be a rail strike? Biden swooped in and saved the day, so to speak? No. This has been put off until after the election. They've been talking about these things. And Wisconsin Rep. Brian Steele says the economy could take a dual hit after the election if diesel shortages persist and rail unions strike as promised. In December, rail workers threatened to strike after election if they could not get to a new agreement with railroad companies, which would result in substantial problems for the U.S. economy. It's incredibly concerning, he said. You add that on top of the fact that we know we have diesel shortages. Now, we're not running out. I saw, this is so telling. I saw one of the TV stations. Oh, we're verifying, we're fact-checking this. Is the country going to run out of diesel fuel in 25 days? No. That's not the point of this. The point is that we only have 25 days supply on hand. It's the lowest level since the 90s, I think. You're also seeing supply and demand. The fact that the demand is so high right now, plus we're not getting this diesel or getting the distillate from Russia right now. And we made a decision because we're in a war with Russia. Made a decision to cut them off. Because war with Russia, because Ukraine's so important. I mean, forget our economy. Ukraine is what we care about, right? So we have made these decisions, and ultimately what happens is that everything costs more now on top of Biden inflation. These crazies on energy driven everything through the roof, including diesel. So we've got 25 days of supply. Now, this is in case supply chain got interrupted. Now, I'm not saying that would happen. In fact, let's be honest, that's unprecedented. It'll never happen. That type of thing. Although we did have a pipeline hacked by Russians not too long ago that caused problems on the East Coast. And again, we're hearing issues on the East Coast again from some of these places. We've got to keep our eyes on the ball here, folks, and get prepared because you don't know what's coming. We don't. We really don't. And we're praying. We keep our eyes on it. But at the end of the day, these are things that are concerning to people. And mine just went around acting like there's no problems. There's nothing to see here. The Federal Reserve Fed expected to raise interest rates again today, even when Democrats are out there asking not to. Please don't do it. It could be really bad for the economy, they say. By the way, Biden's out there. He doesn't know. This is sad. This is kind of like Fetterman sad. I mean, these two folks, he doesn't even know what year it is. He was out there stumping. I'm not going to play every clip. You get the point. But there are some speech that he gave yesterday. I don't know where there's some campaign event that he does it. I think this is Florida. Huh? I don't know what this guy. I got clips like these for days from yesterday. I mean, and you wonder why do they keep trotting him out there? This is in a very safe spot, by the way. This was in I want to say it was in Florida, in the Miami area. Very safe spot for him to be. No hecklers around. Asking about Biden inflation, the cost of everything going through the roof. Why do I have to do that? And I've got a quick Rona report for you as well, folks. I'm going to just give you a couple of quick headlines. Deeper into this in an after show probably coming up tomorrow. How about this? Reports more than $22 billion in revenue for quarter three, driven by government COVID purchases. Ooh, oh, really? The High Priest of Health, Saint Juan, Mr. Booster. Some other really sad stories. Suddenly and unexpectedly, you see these on a daily. We don't have answers on a lot of these. We just don't. More and more every day, though, you see these stories in the news, and you just wonder, gosh, and so tragic. Some of these people just so young, so young. Celebrity chef Julie Powell, 49, author of Julie and Julia, after finally perfecting the perfect recipe for material success in his life, she died Wednesday. Coffee and COVID report. Sudden and unexpected heart attack. She was noted tweeting, guess this is about a year ago. I would argue that COVID does kill some of the right people. The anti-vaxxers, maskers are dying in legions, but yes, it's a real shame about Kavanaugh. We pray Miss Powell found peace, they say, but before suddenly and unexpectedly preparing her last meal. Here's another one. Bengals assistant defensive coordinator Adam Zimler got sacked yesterday by sudden and unexpected and unknown causes, whatever it is, that killed him. It's baffling. He was tackled on his life's 38-yard line, they say. stories are just absolutely tragic. And, I don't know that we'll ever really have some of the answers to these stories, but you see young people dying at a greater clip every day. Praying for those folks. More in a Rona Report tomorrow. I'm sure we'll get into all of it. We got an after show coming up tomorrow, too. I'm not going to do one today, but I've got some good news of my own that I'll have to share with you, probably coming up tomorrow, folks. Appreciate you being here. Always a pleasure, never a dull moment. The fastest hour radio in the books. Make it a great day, folks. God bless. All right, keep an eye on locals. If you have been there, justinbarkley.com/locals. You'll remember, keep an eye. Got lots to talk about. I'm going to probably try to do some live stuff there, maybe even later today. So keep an eye out. Appreciate y'all being here with us. No after show today, but one coming tomorrow. All right, that's it, folks. God bless. Love you.